Hello, and after a little long hiatus, welcome back to the Jersey Nerds Podcast. Your home
Just
for
recording
debates
a
and
podcast. How about
discussions
you?
surrounding sports, uniform
Look, man,
design.
I've been holding that in for 2 weeks now. Come on.
You've
Has
been
it been
hold-
3 since we recorded last?
You've been,
I think it's been 3
holding.
since
You've
we
been
recorded.
holding it in.
Yeah,
like-
just recording a podcast. How about you?
Like you were in physical pain and discomfort, not being able to let it out.
Yes.
Because you can technically say that anytime you want. You know.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like,
but it's not
you could
the
just be having
same,
breakfast
you know?
with Kelsey or something and just be like, just recording a podcast, how about you? I'll better.
Just eating a
It's
breakfast.
like it's like that one meme of the kid like with like the red face or whatever.
Yeah.
Just eating dinner. How about you?
Yeah, it's about Bpoe's dinner time at 9:51 p.m. So, or no, it's time for breakfast, Bpoe. You better get on it.
Jeez, I forgot.
I'll
that
have
already.
you know I ate breakfast a couple of hours ago. Thank you very much.
A couple hours ago at
It is-
7:51.
In case you didn't tell at recording, it is not morning time. It is nowhere near
Not at all.
morning
She
time.
late.
Mm-hmm. Faux show. Yeah. So, Bpoe, that's a weird looking hockey jersey you're wearing.
It is. It's one of my more unique ones. It's remember was it the Backstreet Boys? They cut the sleeves off. That's what I did here. You see, but it has a chevron on it for some reason, and it says Raptors.
Sponsored
Yeah,
by
everyone's
Chevron?
favorite hockey team, the Regina Raptors. Saskatchewan Major Junior Hockey League, you guys, come on.
This jersey is, in fact, a Toronto Raptors jersey, and of the fallen Kyle Lowry. He's not dead. He's just in Miami now.
Hashtag rip.
I mean, all the red and black teams are the same to me. So
Miami uses a pretty unique shade of red, I'd say, though. I like it. But either way, you know that? Have you guys ever seen that like sports logos forum thread of like players in the wrong jersey or like the right team wrong jersey? This is going to be one of those because Kyle only wore it for a single season in Toronto, and now he's off to Miami.
But like,
yeah,
Miami.
For those of
like,
you listening, it's the current this year's what would it be? Icon, I think, the red one with the black chevron.
Sure.
that's the problem, though. Like, all the Raptors jerseys, even though they've had different iterations, they all look so similar that just like I can like, as someone that doesn't pay attention to the Raptors every single day, like I couldn't tell you if that was one from now or one from 5-6 years ago. You know,
Kind of. I mean,
the chevrons are pretty new.
Yeah, the chevrons. They had the like white chevron version that they won the championship in, but that said North. This is their first year in this
Right.
kind of chevron. And
Yeah.
then they did have like a similar thing for a while where they had like the purple and black like half and half jersey, and then they just changed that or used
That
the
was a
same
long
template
time
and just
ago, yeah.
changed the color to red, basically red and black.
Oh, that's
The
dumb.
Ron jerseys.
So
And then Hunter, do I see some Wolverhampton over there?
Yeah.
I
Premier
got that
League started
right.
today. Premier League started today, so Wolves are playing tomorrow. Game starts while I'm at work, I think, so I'm gonna miss the game, but figured I'd wear it now since we're doing
Go West Ham.
this.
Just because sometime last year I'm like, oh, I should pick a team for Premier League, and I just picked West Ham because the colors are good.
Oh, bad choice. They're moving on up. Moving on up.
yay,
Yeah.
sports ball.
Yay. Football.
Kick the ball in the ball.
Put the ball in the net.
Yeah, that game.
Yeah.
With your foot and not your hand.
Maybe
Yes.
your head.
If you use your
If you
hand,
feel
it will
like
be
it.
chopped off. I
Or
don't make
your-
the rules.
Chest or
True.
your back.
Medieval times soccer.
In soccer,
Or
you
your
can
knee.
use like anything except for your hands, basically, right?
Anything from like I think it's
But
like
not
from
your-
here down because you're allowed to hit it with your shoulder too, but you're not allowed to make direct contact with your arm.
Oh, okay. Arm makes sense, yeah. And then hockey, what? It's like
But it's
you can only direct it in with your stick, but if it deflects off of just about anything else, you're fine.
Well, you can direct
It's really weird.
you can direct it in with your skate. You just can't make an obvious kicking motion. So
You can
I
like
assume that
change. You can like direct
it
it in with an angle, but like you can't like smack it in with your head though.
No, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. You can deflect the puck with any part of your body, but if you make
Yes.
any motion to make it go in a certain direction, then it doesn't count.
Yes.
Like when Colin White headbutted the puck into the net last
Yeah.
year, and everybody laughed because it should have counted, but they didn't count it because
Dude,
no fun league.
honestly, like, headbutting the puck in should count just because, for one, how rare it is in the first place, for two, how fun it is. Although then again, I'd worry that like you get people like trying to headbutt the puck in, and then they hit each other and give each other concussions.
Completely unbiased opinion, I feel.
So today on the podcast, we are.
Chris, what are you wearing?
Oh, it's the same stupid Kings jersey I have.
It's one of the 2 jerseys I own. Shut up. Let's move on.
Sure, why not? Anyway, today on the podcast, we're opening the mailbag.
Mailbag.
And why are we opening the mailbag? Because you can't open a female's bag without permission.
About.
Because we've been on vacation and we're all out of ideas.
Because you can't open a female's bag without
nothing
permission.
interesting to talk about. That's not true. There's some other stuff, but this question's been in the mailbag for a while. It's getting a little stale and moldy. I think it's time to break it out before it gets too bad.
Because if we didn't open the mailbag, Burkus would literally chase us all down because we haven't answered any of his questions.
Okay. First up, the answer was no. It's because we can't open a female's bag without permission or consent. And secondly, saying the questions would go stale and moldy.
I don't think you should open a male's bag without consent either. To be honest,
just saying the questions get stale and moldy.
It's our mailbag, so we have consent.
Saying the questions get stale and moldy implied that the mailbag's listener submitted questions are edible.
I don't. I mean, rocks, not moldy. No, I guess I'm thinking of moss. Our mailbag questions are bread.
Technically,
are they rocks?
Paper. It doesn't.
I was gonna say rocks can get moldy, but I guess it's like moss that I'm thinking of.
It's not just a boulder.
It's a rock. It's the rock.
It's a rock.
Dwayne.
It's stop.
Anyway, we have a few mailbag questions, but they're all kind of in the same vein. And they're regarding jerseys worn, uniforms worn in NHL outdoor games. A fun topic that we seem to talk about a lot just because they're specialty. So
which, now that I think about it, it's kind of topical in a way because as of recording this last night, the MLB had their Field of Dreams game, which was, I mean, I guess they're all outdoor games, but most MLB games are outdoor. But specialty games. We'll put it that way.
Don't tell that to Tampa. Don't let them find out.
Rip.
Toronto as well. Aren't they back in Toronto too, the
Sometimes.
Jays? But they had to open the roof, or else it was considered indoor, and they had more restrictions.
Interesting. That makes sense, I guess. Yee. Anywho, the questions submitted were from Gwinnett Graphics. I know it's Gwinnett, but I like saying Gwinnett. Gwinnett Graphics. And I'm going to mispronounce this too, just because I can. Percuss Studios.
Percussion.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, the questions had to do with Winter Classic jerseys, Heritage Classic jerseys, and Stadium Series jerseys. We'll have a series of questions applying to those things, and we're going to give each of our answers based off of them. Are you ready for an instant classic? Or series? I don't know how to work Stadium Series into there, but Winter and Heritage Classic are both work fine, which are NHL.
The NHL Winter Series Heritage.
The NHL Heritage Stadium
of Anaheim.
Perfect.
By Chris Ramirez.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Anyways, I am eating dinner, so I'm going to kick it over to Bpoe.
All right. So before we start, I'm just going to go over all of the games eligible. The 2003 Heritage Classic is not.
Hold on, you didn't say. Shouldn't you say what the questions are?
I thought I was going to go over the games first.
Are we going to the games
anyways,
first?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll let you do what you want, heathen.
I'll just go over the games first. So we've got the 2008 Winter Classic between the Penguins and the Sabres, the 2009 Winter Classic between the Blackhawks and the Red Wings, the 2010 Classic between the Bruins and the Flyers, 2011 between the Penguins and Capitals, 2011 Heritage Classic between the Canadiens and Flames, the 2012 Winter Classic between the Flyers and the Rangers, the 2014 Winter Classic between the Red Wings and the Leafs, 2014 Heritage Classic between the Canucks and Senators, 2015 Winter Classic between the Capitals and Blackhawks, 2016 Winter Classic between the Canadiens and Bruins, 2016 Heritage Classic, Oilers and Jets, 2017 Winter Classic, Blackhawks and Blues, 2018 Winter Classic, Sabres and Rangers, 2019 Winter Classic, Bruins and Blackhawks, and 2019 Heritage Classic, Flames and Jets, and 2020 Winter Classic, Stars and Predators. I'll get to the Stadium Series ones when we do the Stadium Series section. The questions at hand. What Winter or Heritage Classic jerseys would you like to see return? Which Winter or Heritage Classic jerseys would be cool to see paired up against each other? And which Winter or Heritage Classics should be integrated or modernized into the home and away jerseys? So that's what
I feel
got.
so bad for anyone listening to the audio version that just had to sit through that listing of Winter and Heritage Classics without getting to see the reference images that came along with the video.
That was tough to go through because it's not like I rehearsed this. I just had to look at my screen and be like, these ones. And it took me a second to register it every once in a while.
Very impressive.
But that's the list for those of you who are listening. There was no 2013 Winter Classic because of lockdown. I'm getting ahead of myself. Lockout. Of a lockout. And 2021 has not had any games. We're not counting the Lake Tahoe ones because those were just the reverse retros. Nothing special for that game. So, anyone have any answers for which ones would you like to see return? Going once.
Answers.
Going twice.
I'm hoping we all have answers.
Sold.
So.
Sold. Sounds like Chris has answers.
Okay then. I suppose I'll kick it off. So, Winter Classic and Heritage Classic jerseys. I only had 3 of them. Out of all the games, out of all the things that have happened, there are only 3 of them that I would like to see return in any fashion. And it was the first thing I want to say here. It was also kind of difficult going through trying to find all the Winter and Heritage Classic because there have been a lot of Winter Classic games. Not that many Heritage Classic games, but a lot of Winter Classic games. And to go through and I was reminded of jerseys that I forgot existed and games that I didn't remember happening. I'm just like, oh, okay.
I mean, what with the exception of, like I said, 2013 and 2021, we've had a game every year. So that is a lot.
Exactly, since 2008. So
a lot of games.
Yeah, it's been a while. And then you add the 5 or so Heritage Classic games, some of which again I didn't know happened, or vaguely had heard histories of. But there are 3 Winter Heritage Classic jerseys I like to see return. Actually, 1 Winter, 2 Heritage. My first choice, the 2012 Philadelphia Flyers, which was an orange jersey that had some nice cream on it and black. Anytime I played a game of NHL or whatever, like the video game, if I was using the Flyers, I would put these jerseys on because no other jersey to me was quite as good or stood up. Again, it's not an incredible jersey, but in my opinion, it's a really good one. I know the striping's not quite consistent, but I just like the way it looked on the ice and on players and all that. I'll throw in that Rangers one from that classic as a runner up too. I just really liked that Winter Classic. The look of it overall. The Rangers have enough things to deal with, but the Flyers, I feel like, especially considering how sad their alternate is now, it's just black with giant orange stripes. Like, I think this was the best, specialty jersey that they've had. And so that's my first one. 2 out of 3. And I'm hoping this will be a popular pick. And that's the 2014 Ottawa Senators. The cream-colored jerseys from vintage white, whatever, from that Heritage Classic. I see this as one of the best Senators jerseys just overall. And it's just, whenever I see the two stripes, go across, like, one, you can't mess up that striping. Like, it's really good. Then you go with a cream jersey, bold, like it. It's always interesting seeing you have the striping across the back, and then you have the numbers as well. It's a hard thing to do well. Like the Montreal Canadiens on their home jersey, they do it better than anyone else. But like, anytime anybody tries to make a Canadiens concept, like a white jersey concept that has the stripes on the back, it's so hard to do because you just usually they make it in a way that you just can't read the numbers. And this is one of the rare instances where like a team they actually did it. It's weird because the numbers are the same color as the base of the jersey, but the stripes were thick enough and the outlines were thick enough to where it worked really well. So I would absolutely love to see this jersey return. It's better than anything the Senators have now. I'll tell you that. That's just me. Then my third choice
that's not a high bar to pass. So
sure. My third choice is one Bpoe will probably not like, and it's kind of a cop-out, too, considering this, this wasn't the most original or creative jersey, and even if it made a return, I don't think most people would even notice it. And that's the 2016 Edmonton Oilers Heritage Classic orange jersey. Like, if the Oilers are going to go with orange, we've said before, bring back the Royal, and, this is an excellent jersey if you're going to have orange as your main color. I know Bpoe loves their current color scheme or whatever, but
I like the new shade of orange better than the old one. That's about it.
Yeah,
I could go either way on the
don't
navy
put the numbers on the shoulders.
And this is my third choice because I don't need it to come back. I've said it before, and it's a weird thing for me, but
it did technically.
Okay, yeah, it technically did. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, this was their alternate before the game, actually, wasn't it?
Oh really? What?
That's what it was. It didn't come back after because they unveiled it in 2015 when they drafted McDavid.
That's funny.
So yeah, technically it was an alternate for a little while.
I hate orange, yellow, or gray colored jerseys that have dark numbers on them. It just looks off to me. So the current Oilers orange jersey looks bad and off to me. But even so, I would still like to see this come back. If it's good. Why not? Why not?
Why not?
So those are the ones I'd like to see.
Why not?
And up next we have Steve.
Steve not. Yeah, if we're gonna go with ones I'd like to see return, it's a pretty small list, I think, and I think we're all kind of in agreement with that. I definitely agree with Chris's take about the Sens jerseys. I think if they brought those back and went with the black version in this one full time instead of doing what they did now, probably would have looked pretty nice. Would have been kind of a cop out, but I'd take it over what they did. I think other than that, though, I think it'd be cool to see Winnipeg's Heritage Classic jerseys come back. It's not really necessary, but I feel like the classic look, the way they've done it with the white and the blue one, they both would work really well. So I don't think it would be a bad idea if they brought those back.
Hunter,
I
save
don't
that
think
for
there's
the home
any...
and away question.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, yeah, okay. I have other ones for that, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single Stadium Series jersey that I would bring back in any way, shape, or form.
Whoa,
Honestly.
whoa!
Hey, we're
Hunter.
not there yet, Hunter. We're just talking about Winter
We're
Classic.
talking Winter
And
You
Heritage
guys are
Classic.
asking about returns.
We're
No, it
talking
says
about the
Winter
classics right
We're
now.
doing that later.
The Stadium Series is after this.
Oh Jesus, we're literally gonna repeat the same 3 questions for Stadium Series instead of just doing all 3 types of games at once.
Yes,
That
Hunter.
doesn't
That's
make
how this was
sense.
set
But
up.
okay, sure, I'll wait
Get
till
with the
later.
program.
We might as well do the
Sure.
vintage looking ones and then go back to the and then go to the futuristic ones. So
All right, fine.
It's called chronology.
I mean, Winter Classic. It's essentially the same thing, you know. Like the Capitals Winter Classics jerseys would be a slight improvement, I guess, over what they've kind of been doing. But, eh. Uh, the Capitals Winter Classic logos with the W. I've always liked the logo, so bringing those back in some way would be cool. But I don't really see how they could bring that jersey back the way it was. That wouldn't make sense to me. Other than that, like, you know, St. Louis has already basically done that, and that's the only other jersey I'd think of in the Winter Classic that I would like to see come back. So it's a bit of a cop out.
I personally had a bit of a longer list, and then just as you guys were talking, I kind of narrowed it down a bit. I think some of the ones that were on there before, like the Sabres in 2018, which could work, but like, and we'll get to that. They kind of already did something like that. Um, and like I think I had the Penguins 2008, but like they brought that back for a while. I don't know if we need it again. Um, my list now is down to 4, and I believe 2 of them have already been mentioned in some way. I have the 2012 New York Rangers jersey. Chris mentioned that whenever he was talking about the Flyers. I really love the way the blue and the red pair with the cream. I could live without the inconsistency on the arm and the hem, but like as time has gone on, I've kind of like, not been bothered by that as much. It's just I love the way that the blue and the red pair with the cream. Rangers again. I've got the 2018 Winter Classic jersey, which I feel like it could be a nice successor to their previous that navy blue like not vintage but like the heritage looking one. I feel like that could be a good successor to it if they were to bring this back as like an alternate. I've got also previously mentioned the Oilers 2016 Heritage Classic, which was an alternate for a while. Chris pretty much nailed it on the head. Like, this is a really good way to do an orange jersey, and I think it would fit well in their current. It would fit decently in their current set. Even a blue version of this would fit really well if they kept an orange home jersey. And then one that hasn't been mentioned, the 2010 Boston Bruins Winter Classic jersey. I'm personally a proponent. I love yellow jerseys. Chris does not like that opinion. I love yellow jerseys, and I also like the Bruins in brown instead of black, which it looks like they are wearing here. So I'd quite like this jersey. And the Flyers, I mean, it's tough to even answer this one because so many teams like the Flyers, this one, and have brought these jerseys back in some way, shape, or form. A couple teams have turned it into a home and away. A couple teams have just had alternates for a while. So it's tough to bring up too many answers that haven't actually happened.
I did not appreciate being thrown under the bus there because I do like this jersey. Just when I was looking through, the Bruins have had so many specialty jerseys, and if you had to choose, like I didn't want to have to choose multiple Bruins ones to return, and like as far as you think of Bruins yellow jerseys, like the reverse retro one's better, and so that's the only reason I didn't mention this too.
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
fair.
good. It's not great, but it's good. So not judging that by any stretch of the imagination. 2010 Bruins, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you want to segue into the next question so I can have a sort of a segue here?
So next question then. Which Winter or Heritage Classic jerseys would be good to pair up against one another?
I got 2 answers. My first answer, 2010 Bruins. That yellow and brown
would
look.
you look at the segue?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even
Against
have a reference image.
Another jersey that Bpoe has mentioned, the 2012 Rangers. interesting mix here of primary colors along with brown and cream. But like, I want to see it. Like
the Bruins one had cream as well, though. So you've got like cream, brown, yellow, red, blue.
Yeah, you know what? I'm down. I want to see it. Give me that. But that's like I'll call that my runner-up. That's one of my two choices, but I'll call that second place. Because first place, the matchup that I think, oh my gosh, this would be so. Like, maybe it would look better in my head than it actually would, but like either way, like I could argue for it pretty darn well. 2014 Ottawa Senators, the vintage white cream jersey, the red and black, and the 2017 St. Louis Blues.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You've got the same color schemes going back and forth here, and you've got the cream consistency. That's not a phrase that I like.
Cream consistency. She's thick.
I mean, the Blackhawks were what? White, red, and black, and the Senators are cream, red, and black. So,
yeah, I mean, you got this nice bright blue against, and you have accents of cream on the Blues against the whole cream of the Senators, and it's just two excellent uniforms up against each other. So that's the Winter/Heritage Classic matchup that I would like to see as far as what uniforms the teams are wearing. That's what we talk about over here.
I'm going to pop in with my own answers right now. I have 3 of them, and one of them is a little more humorous. It is a 3-way game. It is the this Ottawa 2014 Heritage Classic versus the Canadiens 2016 Winter Classic versus the Predators 2020 Winter Classic. The battle of the white chest stripe jerseys.
Except one of those is a cream chest stripe jersey.
Look, it's a white or white replacement. Fair. Look.
White replacement. Hey, what's your skin color? Oh, it's white replacement.
A more serious answer, and one that is not physically possible in any way unless you do a split squad game. Boston 2016 versus Boston 2010. You've got yellow
sir.
On. No?
No.
The only thing that throws me a little bit is the brown and the black.
Yeah, exactly.
Although actually, this one has black in it, or has brown in it. I mean, barely in the logo.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, you're right. That doesn't count. Either way, I think this would be a nice matchup, and I forgot that they had brown in this one until just now.
Oh, you're wrong.
But I still think the yellow on black would be a nice look. And my other one, which is probably my favorite of the bunch, the Ottawa Senators 2014 Heritage Classic versus take your pick of one of these two jerseys, Toronto 2014 or Detroit 2014. I might lean Toronto. Detroit because of the. Yeah. It's tough. I almost want to lean Detroit because this one's got red in it too, and so does this one. But I gotta say Toronto just because it gives another unique color in there. But take your pick. I think either of these would be fantastic.
There's only one correct answer for this question, and it's the Battle of the Sleeve Stripes with Calgary's 2011 Heritage Classic jersey versus Toronto's 2014 Heritage Classic jersey.
Oh gosh!
Who will win and get to
keep clicking on the right ear, wrong game. Yeah, Vancouver too. That's a good point.
3-way game, Battle of the Sleeve Stripes. Who gets to keep their sleeves? In all seriousness, Detroit's 2014 versus New York's 2012, I think would be pretty good. A good matchup with the cream on cream, but also red versus a majority blue with a bit of red jersey, so it wouldn't be red and cream versus red and cream.
We got some cream on cream consistency.
I think Philadelphia's 2012 versus New York's no, they played each other, didn't they? Philadelphia's 2012 and New York. Yeah,
look at the screen, Hunter.
Fucking keep it. Keep it. That's it. That's the winner. Don't even touch it. Screw the rest of the games. No, I had one other one. Where the hell did it go?
Brings Gall
This is
up.
what I-
Hunter, stop saying swear words.
What? I
You
didn't
said
swear.
the F word and the H word in like a 10-second sequence. I mean, I guess the H
If you
one
have to
doesn't
call it
matter.
the H word, you're a child.
Yeah.
Hello
Look,
and welcome to Heck!
Yeah. I don't feel like that's 100%
It's really weird
accurate.
that
You,
word
you
is
don't
like
disinfect the podcast,
somewhat
Hunter?
taboo, but it's not like
You
that
disinfect
taboo.
the podcast.
You don't use Lysol on your recording when you're done?
No.
What's your favorite swear
usually.
word, audience? Let us know in
So-
the comments. I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Wait, no, please, no.
Let us know on
Ping the
Discord
chat.
because our Discord server is clean or is not clean.
Clean server.
Man, I thought I'd be good
Wish it
for a
was.
9:30 podcast, but I feel like my mind is jello right now.
Jello?
Jello?
It's me.
Man,
Yeah, okay. That's pretty much it. I had one other one, but I forget what it is now. I don't know. Now I just feel like I'm dragging it out. I had something lined up for Winnipeg's Heritage Classic, but now I'm like looking through it again, and I'm like, did I just pick another red, blue, and white jersey, and it just made no sense? And I was like, okay, I forget. Detroit's 2009 versus Philadelphia's 2010. Book it. White on white. Orange versus red.
one that would be interesting that I just thought of now: Pittsburgh's 2008 Winter Classic versus Buffalo's 2018 Winter Classic. It's basically the matchup that we got. Buffalo's is just a little bit more futuristic, I guess.
Different.
It's funny thinking of the teams we didn't really mention. Pittsburgh was one of them. Chicago was one of them. I guess they're just, they were, like,
Which
some
is
of them are really
weird
good,
because
but
like
none of them were.
Chicago, like this one especially, I think is the 2019 is really good, but it's just such a unique jersey. It's tough to really want it to come back. I mean, we still have a third question as well, and like again, the Penguins brought both theirs back, but third question: which of these Winter or Heritage Classic jerseys should be integrated and or modernized into the team's home and away jerseys?
My answer to this question as to which Winter or Heritage Classic uniform jersey thingies should be molded or modernized into a full-time home and road set. My answer is a single game, and it's the 2016 Heritage Classic. Because both Winnipeg and Edmonton should highly and heavily consider these uniforms as a full-time set.
And I suppose technically you have 2019 Winnipeg in there because that's kind of the partner to Winnipeg.
No, that one sucks. They should just wear white every game.
Okay, well, that's an interesting opinion, but I guess it's your opinion.
Well, because they have the white out at home and they wear white on the road, so it's like, why not?
What are the visiting teams gonna do?
Figure it out. I don't care.
They'll
on a road trip. They know they're going to play
pennies
Winnipeg.
every
They
game.
just need to bring the right jersey.
Oh,
God.
Shirts and skins.
And those will have ads on. Wait, no. But yeah, as much as I love Winnipeg's current color scheme, again, this is a better jersey, and so it'd be great for them to go with that full time, and that Edmonton should go back to royal blue, and so that's why I picked that game as both uniforms to put into a full time set because that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Hunter, say something.
I mean, in terms of integrating it into their home and away jerseys, I think, there's a couple cop-outs, like Edmonton's 2016 is pretty much something they've already tried. Winnipeg would be a good one, like I said earlier, their Heritage Classic jerseys. Ottawa, again, kind of a cop-out, but like their 2014, if they had brought that into being the home and away version, like that would have been way better than what they're at. Other than that, like St. Louis again's a cop out. Buffalo pretty much a cop out.
And they
Like there's
kind of
lots of
did
teams that have
anyways.
take. That's
I
the
mean, if you
thing is
go
like
off
all
of
the
if you
teams
go
that
off of this
have good
one,
enough
yeah.
jerseys have pretty much already done it. You know, like
I mean,
or at least brought it on as an alternate.
if you go off of this one, they literally like just made this their road jersey. And if you go off of this one, they took the logo from it, like the textured logo. Or wait,
Yeah,
no, that was the 50th anniversary one. Never mind. Although they did take the like kind of
They did. They
modernization
did.
of this
the
logo.
striping's the similar. I think the only two I have that are kind of out there, and again, it depends on your thoughts towards like how, at what's the limit to how a home and away jersey can look like a throwback. I guess would be Detroit's 2014s would be ones that I think could be like maybe not in cream, but like I like the logo without the word mark a little bit. And then Chris, relax, you're fine.
I like
And
it a
then
little bit. It should be their full-time set. That's not how
no,
that
I'm
works.
saying it can be integrated. We're not saying these are going full time sets. They're being
Detroit hasn't been integrated yet? What the frick?
And
What
then
year
Dallas
is it?
2020 because I like it, and it wouldn't be a downgrade from what they have now, but I like what they have now too, so it's not really a necessary thing. Just get rid of the brown pants because I don't know how that would fly.
Slightly off topic, but did you guys see that Dallas changed their shade of victory green? That was making the rounds yesterday.
Except they did, but they didn't.
They literally just changed their digital version of it to match the jerseys better, and everybody had a hissy fit about it for some reason.
Wow.
I didn't see anybody upset.
No,
The
people were
posts
making
that
a
I
big deal
saw,
like
there
they
were,
thought they were going to change it.
yeah, the posts that I saw people talking about it, they were like,
Wow.
"What is this? What the heck?" And you know, it's social media,
Okay.
so often more vulgar than that. Anyways, I have 4 picks, and I guess 2 of them are kind of cop-outs. We've got the aforementioned 2014 Heritage Classic, Ottawa. I mean, I'd want a better logo on it. Like, I don't think this would be a great full-time logo for a team, but like the jersey
What's wrong with the What's wrong with the O Entertainment logo from Jimmy Neutron?
It's a logo from Jimmy Neutron. That's what's wrong with it. Anyways, St. Louis 2017. Again, like they have good jerseys now. They have fine jerseys now, but I think I like these ones better still. And then either the 2011 Winter Classic for the Capitals or 2015. If you go with 2011, I like the jersey design as is. Maybe drop the number of stars a little bit and change the logo for sure. And if you go 2015, I feel like the striping can kind of be used as a basis for like a home and road set, but you'd have to change a lot more with this jersey than in 2011. And I mean, they have they have the what's it called? Well, they just went out of it this year, but the red version of this that I think could make a good counterpart. And I mean, looking at it, the 3 of these 4 teams that I chose, or I guess 2 of the 3, Capitals and Ottawa, it's literally just because they have not good jerseys right now. So most of these jerseys are like, while they're good, the teams already have good jerseys, so there's not really any need to integrate it into their main set, or they did already, like Flyers. Wrong year. This one, 2010. Yeah. Any other comments before we move on to Stadium Series? Hunter, Chris.
Like, again, it's interesting to look at the ones that each of us didn't pick. No, nobody said St. Louis, right? Because a lot of people like, oh, you did. Well, you're not a person. But a lot of people like, oh, St. Louis should be, should make that full time. And like, I don't think so. I don't know how anyone else feels about that.
I just said St. Louis would be one of my picks.
Well, you had like 4 picks, so like.
Yeah, St. Louis is a tough one because like they have good jerseys now, I feel like they could use better color balancing, but like the Winter Classic set,
That's fair.
that vintage set is also very good. I like the simplicity of it.
You know
I was
what?
to say, what else didn't really get picked?
What about the Blues? The Blues current set, but with the the Heritage Classic blue replacing the Royal blue.
That could work. I just feel like the
Small
navy
change.
blue needs to be balanced better because they have like, what is it? Like the road is almost more navy than it is royal, isn't it? Yeah, because on the home is like royal blue and the navy is balanced fine, but the road jersey you have like navy pants and like navy cuffs and hem, and then the only royal blue is in stripes and a yoke and the numbers and stuff. Like I don't know, I feel like you need less navy blue on that road jersey for it to make sense.
It's a good jersey. It's just with the rest of the equipment, it becomes a little navy heavy. That yoke does a lot of heavy
Yeah,
lifting there.
like honestly, just swap the navy and the royal on the hem and the arms, and I think you're pretty good. And uh,
Maybe,
I'd almost say
maybe.
royal pants as well instead of navy.
Hmm.
But
But the navy works so well on the home. It flows. Who cares?
yeah, that's not what we're talking about. We are talking about outdoor games. And moving on, we have the Stadium Series. We will be answering the same
Woo!
questions above. After
Let's take
Gwinnett
this
asked this
outside.
one, Burkus asked the same questions but Stadium Series. So the games in question: 2014 Pittsburgh, Chicago; 2014 New York Islanders, New York Rangers; 2014 New York Rangers in the same exact jerseys and the New Jersey Devils; 2014 LA and Anaheim; 2015 LA and San Jose; 2016 Colorado, Detroit; 2016 Chicago, Minnesota; 2017 Pittsburgh, Philly; 2018 Toronto and Washington; 2019 Pittsburgh, Philly again; and 2020 LA and Colorado. So, which ones should return?
Could you say all those again?
All right, we've got 2014 Pittsburgh, Chicago; 2014 New York Rangers, New York Islanders.
Just constantly run through the images again. You don't have to say.
Just put them on an eternal loop.
Goodness, yeah. All right, so I guess I'll start once again. It's interesting. I never really realized that Stadium Series not only started 2014ish. So that's,
Wasn't the NHL
I guess it
basically
makes
like,
sense. I
hey,
forgot.
sorry for the lockout, here's a ton of outdoor games? Whoops, I went too far.
I guess. I guess. Yeah, I've got 3 picks, and hold on. Considering I didn't see it in the
All right,
images that
while
you put
Chris is
there, I just
figuring
want to
this
make
out,
sure that.
Hunter, what are your picks?
Oh, you little.
The
I mean,
cop out pick is New Jersey's 2014 because it's the only normal looking one out of all of them. The rest of them, as I alluded to earlier, I don't think I'd like to see any of the Stadium Series jerseys return. Like I've said before multiple times, the appeal to me for the Stadium Series jerseys is the outside the box thinking and the one off, never have to see them again jersey unless you really like it or think it's interesting, you know? Like, I don't think the Colorado Stadium Series jersey when they played LA is a good jersey. I think it's a cool idea. So I like the jersey. I wouldn't want to see them wear it full time. So like I don't think I would like to see any of them return except for New Jersey's 2014 because like I just like the striping on that one better and it's better than what they have now because their current jerseys are hot garbage.
So you're basically saying that the Stadium Series is super amazing as a hypothetical.
Yeah, like I think the appeal to me about the
that's a good
Stadium
way to
Series
put it, though. I'm
jersey
not gonna
is
lie.
the appeal to me about the Stadium Series is the you know this is what we could do with jerseys at some point, but like so far none of them have been good enough for me to want to see them full time. Like it's a cool idea. I don't want to see any of them full time.
Well, we're not there yet, so But yeah, as far as Stadium Series jerseys, I like to see return. Yeah, it was fun going through all these, seeing the evolution and all the different crazy things that happen. My cop-out answer, Devils 2014. I think it's a good solid jersey. It'd be great to have as an alternate. You know, you have the red and green as an alternate with the red and black home and white. Yeah, everyone's happy. Yeah. And I had two more that I want to mention. 2016 Minnesota Wild is a very good jersey. There it is, Bpoe. This is a good jersey. And like as much as we as much as we all like the Wilds, like they got good colors. It's got green, it's got cream, it's got a good balance between all the colors. Like I like this, and again, you can't really go wrong with the two large stripes on the sleeves. It's good, it's consistent. It's a nice jersey. And there's only one jersey, but like I wouldn't, I don't need to see that return. Like I would live without seeing a return. There's one jersey.
I think we would live regardless of what happens because it's long sleeve shirts that sports players wear that doesn't matter at all to day-to-day life.
There is one jersey that not only do I want to see it return, or I want to see some variation of it return, or something very similar to it return. And I would be so happy if it did. Because it's the 2014 Los Angeles Kings Stadium Series jersey. Because it's just, like, for a gray jersey, it is really nice. Like, again, this was one of those jerseys where, most times when I was playing an NHL video game, I'd play with the Kings a lot, but whenever I could, I took these because it's obviously I would make some changes if it was to come back as an alternate. But just the fact it's a gray jersey, it has nice striping with one big stripe and two white stripes on the outside of it, and it has a crown in the middle of it. That's all I've wanted in a Kings jersey for quite a while. And they had it in 2014, and the game didn't go very well. But like the jersey was, you could make a few refinements, but like it was a good LA Kings jersey. And especially seeing the gray alternates they've had since that just have striping that doesn't quite match anything else, and just have the normal Shield logo on the front. Like I miss this one. I definitely miss this uniform, and I would like to see it again.
Is it a hot take to say that this is the best LA Kings jersey that they've ever worn in like grayscale? Obviously, like the purple yellow ones, I think are better. Like I can't think of any of the black, white, gray ones that are better than this.
Because you're considering
the definite no.
You're considering the '90s jerseys as well,
right? I don't think that. I think this one's better. Logo's better. Font's better. The general striping is pretty much the same. I like having it
font could use black. Font could use a little work, but this was a very good jersey.
Isn't that pretty much their current font, just a little taller?
It's definitely taller and like bigger, and like I
for the back of a jersey.
Shut up! You're wrong. I love their current font so much.
It is the current font. It's just taller. There's not much of a difference with it.
You can't just stretch a font and call it this. No.
There's a difference between stretching a font and making it taller, though, and keeping the proportions the same.
Yeah, I still like the current one better. So
fair.
Take that.
For my choices, I've got 4. For one, Anaheim from 2014. No, absolutely not.
It had potential. It had potential.
As shown with Anaheim currently wearing an orange. They still wear that orange alternate,
right? That OC patch on the shoulder wasn't.
Yes, that was. I wish that would stick around, dude. The shoulder patches from this game, excellent. That LA one, really nice.
Oh yeah.
The OC one. Why didn't they bring that back on an alternate or something? Or even hell, put it on the home and away jerseys. I don't care.
Their AHL affiliate, their AHL affiliate, the San Diego Gulls, basically they have that as a shoulder patch, except it says SD instead of OC.
Yeah.
So they put it somewhere.
I remember years ago. I don't know if either of you guys would remember this. The Quad City Mallards competition on HJC. That's the thing that got me involved with HJC, and I remember taking that OC patch and making it QC as part of my submission. In retrospect, copyright infringement, probably, but
but it's a mallard. It's
pretty cool.
But a mallard's a duck. It works perfect.
Exactly, it's very similar. Hypothetically, very cool. In retrospect, copyright infringement, probably. My
Mallard
answer. Hardly know her. Did I do it right?
I hope that quacked you up. Here's the bill. Cosby.
I'm sorry to inform you that this is Chris's final episode on the Jersey Nerds podcast. If you would head back to your office and take your things with you, turn in your badge and your uniform on the way out, it would be appreciated.
When did you get us an office space?
We have badges and uniforms?
We can. It wouldn't really serve a purpose, but I guess we could.
Next episode, we all have to show up wearing t-shirts with the Jersey Nerd logo right on the front.
We need like a polo that has like a little Jersey Nerd logo right here.
Oh gosh.
Polo.
And like a little name badge hanging off the other side. Gotta wear khakis and some nice shoes, business casual, Jersey casual. Well, no, I guess that'd have to be nerd casual because Jersey casual is a little bit different than that.
Somebody answering the phones, Jersey Nerds Media, just holding a call. How about you?
Anyways, my actual picks.
I was wondering when you get to those.
I also had LA 2014 because basically for all the reasons Chris said. I have Pittsburgh 2014. I would say go Pittsburgh gold on it, but the general striping layout and everything. I mean, it's pretty similar to LA in a way. You know how they hem stripes. I guess not really, but I guess Chicago kind of did that too. But you know, put the stripes all the way across the arms. Fix the socks. Looking at that, I forgot how bad the socks were. And go Pittsburgh gold. This was definitely one of the better Stadium Series jerseys of 2014, considering what else we had to look at. I've got, again, Minnesota 2016. Their current home jersey is better in just about every way, but this is still a very nice jersey, and if they didn't go the route that they did, I would have had no issue seeing this or an adaptation of it as their home jersey whenever Adidas switched over. And my last one, you're going to need to make some alterations to it. Toronto 2018. Now, no white pants. Give me blue pants. No white glove. Wait, okay. If you have blue pants, white gloves, maybe, but probably not. Honestly, I don't see why you can't make the chest stripe go all the way around. I think you've got a pretty good jersey then. It follows, Toronto historically. Did I miss something?
Are you putting the chest stripe all around with or without adding a white outline to those numbers?
I mean, you have to put an outline on it so the numbers stand out.
I sure hope so.
I figured that was given.
It scared me. Scared me.
Either that or do white numbers with a blue outline like the logo. No, don't do that.
No.
Please don't do that. But anyways, if you just fix the equipment, even if you don't change the jersey at all and just fix the equipment, I think it's a fine jersey because you've got, Toronto's traditional two stripes and you've got it in a chest stripe instead of, hem stripes. And it's a little bit bigger on the arm and the chest. I think it works just fine. I think the white gear is what really ruined this one more than anything else. If you're going to go for a modern Leafs jersey, a more futuristic one, you could do a lot worse.
It was so fun being in college dorm room and being like, oh yeah, this game's on, and finding it on my computer and then just being like, you have this blinding white against navy with a giant red stripe, and I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, what a weird matchup this is, honestly.
It was.
Speaking of matchups, what do you guys want to see against each other?
Hunter, you want to take this one first, or no?
Sure. I think in terms of matchups, if we're looking at ones that are going to be similar, Detroit's 2016 versus the Leafs 2018, I think would be a pretty cool white heavy-ish matchup, but not clashing.
The 2014 Winter Classic, but modern.
Yes.
And not color on color.
Exactly. And not color on color, the complete opposite. Outside of that, I don't really know if there's a ton else. Like, Pittsburgh's 2017 could match up against a bunch of these jerseys, and I think it would look pretty cool. But yeah, like those two are the ones I'd like to see them. Those two facing off, I think, would be the ones I'd like to see the most out of all of them. Like I said, there's a lot of these jerseys that they're cool, but like they don't match well. They're very iffy when it comes to matching.
I didn't really have too many answers before, but I kind of just thought of a couple suddenly. So my answers before were very in similar vein to that Bruins answer I had for the Winter Classic, just Penguins 2017 versus Penguins 2019, and Philly 2019 versus Philly 2017, where you've kind of got the reverse of each other. Weird in a way. I don't know if I'd love the matchups, but like they'd work. And then
black on color, great idea.
The chaos option is 2017 Pittsburgh versus 2019 Philly, orange and yellow, with some black sprinkled in there. My more serious answers that I just thought of: 2014 Pittsburgh, and these are actually all in the same year. So we've got, or each matchup is within the same year. So 2014 Pittsburgh versus 2014 LA, because it's a very light matchup, but you've got gray, and you've got the gray, you've got the white, you've got very similar layouts with the hem stripe going all the way around. You've got the arm stripe, a shoulder yoke.
You're telling me you want gray? You're telling me you want gray, black, and white against white, black, and Vegas gold? You just have the most muted game of all time.
When you put it that way, the color part is boring. The design part is not as boring. Look, I thought of this a minute ago. I didn't think it through very much. Give me a break. My other one.
And then but back if that game happened in 2014, there would have been some guy in the audience be like, "Wow, look at these colors! I'm going to make a hockey team based off those someday." And that's how the Henderson Silver Knights were born.
I thought you were gonna say like the Penguins of the '90s, where they had. Although no, they didn't use Vegas and gray at the same time. It was the Pittsburgh gold was the gray in that row of Penguin gradient one for some reason. My other two, 2016, Colorado versus Minnesota, and Chicago versus Detroit. Just flip the matchup. I think, honestly, either of these could go well against each other at that point. I mean, honestly, put Minnesota against Detroit. That would work too. Chicago and Colorado, not so much because they're both white. But I think pretty much otherwise, any combination of these jerseys could work. And I mean, obviously, they picked two of them. But I think that Minnesota jersey would pair up pretty well against the Colorado one. I actually thought that's what it was for a bit. I forgot that Detroit and Chicago were involved. And then Detroit and Chicago, I guess you've kind of got the, 2009? Yeah, the 2009 Winter Classic, but more modern. Futuristic. Wrong game.
Oh, yeah. And what Stadium Series jerseys would I like to see matched up against each other? Absolutely none of them. I looked through all of these, and I could find, it's important that they're both good, or at least decent uniforms, and, even looking at the ones I didn't like that much, nothing seemed to work that well together that, hasn't already been played. That was, there weren't any super stellar matchups.
2014 LA versus 2015 LA.
So white.
Better than some of the other matchups.
Lower half.
Honestly, you're not wrong. Yeah, that's the problem with Stadium Series. You've got a selection of not so great jerseys in the mix here. As an aside as well, it's funny to me and weird in a way that for Chicago, they had like a 3-year stretch of wearing almost the same jersey in outdoor games 3 years in a row. Because you had the 2015 Winter Classic, which was pretty much their away with a couple of modifications. 2016 Stadium Series, which was their away with a couple of modifications. And then the 2017 Winter Classic, which was their away with some modifications. And it's pretty much the same jersey 3 years in a row. Not the same, but like very similar jersey styles for 3 outdoor games in a row. 3 years in a row. Random aside.
It's almost like maybe Chicago should not be playing in outdoor games anymore. And
There's a
that they
lot of
didn't
things that
realize it
Chicago
early
shouldn't be
enough.
doing.
Like existing.
The city of Chicago should not exist.
No, the team. The team known as
The
the
Blackhawks.
Blackhawks should not exist.
Oh, you mean the original 5?
Yes.
It'd be funny if you just woke up one. I mean, there's movies like that. You just woke up one day and just like one thing just like never existed.
It's like in Harry Potter how they can there's like a spell that can just wipe your memory, and like I think it was in the 7th book / movie, Hermione just wiped her parents' brains, their memories of Hermione existing in the first place, and like in the movie all the photos like fade away. Hermione just fades away from them. Just that, but the Blackhawks.
Jeez, that's sad. But like, you know, just but like the Chicago what? They had a what on their chest? Well, you're crazy. And you'd be like, yeah, their jerseys look like this. And you're like, oh, that's just a Dallas Stars ripoff. What are you doing?
No, silly. That was Portland.
Yeah, what would the Portland Winterhawks of the WHL be without Chicago existing?
They probably wouldn't exist either. Because they wouldn't have had uniforms that one year
Ooh.
to play.
That's true.
Okay, and the final question is...
Oh, I thought you were going to read it.
No, I wasn't going to. That's your
Which
job.
of these stadium series... Which of these Stadium Series jerseys, if any, should be integrated or modernized into the home and away jerseys? I've got 2 answers. I'll go first if you want, or I'll save it.
Because
I have a feeling we're getting some repeats here.
Good.
We've got the cop-out, New Jersey, because
the Devils.
Technically it was, at one point, their home jersey, or road, I think, because it wasn't home. Dark used to be road. But anyways, it used to be in their home and away set, and they brought it back, and it's better than what they wear now, so I guess. And as mentioned, LA, like, give me that design, put some color in it. If they just made this their home jersey, maybe darker gray, even, like, I could live with that. I'd still want some color in there, but I could live with it more than I like it more than their, current home and away set. So, and just at least put the crown back on the front instead of having it inside of a home plate for some reason. What is Chris doing?
Crying.
You said home plate, and now he started to cry.
Just put the crown on. Just give us a crown. Just give us a god dang
We're
crown.
not the LA home plates. We're the LA Kings. Where's the crown?
Forgive me, Lord, but I just want a crown on the jersey.
Those are my only 2 real answers, because the other ones that I like that I mentioned, Pittsburgh, you've got something better now. Minnesota, you've got something better now. There's not much else you can do. You know what? Screw it. Give me a white version of Colorado's Stadium Series.
Where's the is the white on top, and then you have
gray, I guess.
Then what color do you put on the bottom? You put the burgundy on the bottom and then the blue pants. Oh, wait a minute. We're onto something here. White on the top. White on the top.
Take Colorado's 2020 Stadium Series and turn it into LA's 2015 Stadium Series.
Okay. No, Colorado away concept. You get the white on the top. you have the gray in the middle, the silver in the middle. Then you have the burgundy at the bottom, and they already have the blue pants. So,
Huh.
I don't like how
That's
it sounds.
Me neither. Me neither.
Ultimate chaos.
Anyways.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of cop out ones. Like New Jersey for one. Obviously, Pittsburgh's 2017 is pretty similar to their alternates already as it is, plus or minus a couple things.
Yeah,
worse.
I mean, what? No stencil
Oh yeah,
numbers.
I'm not saying it's
you
better,
put-
but they're not that far away. They're not that far
Yeah.
away from each other. I think the only obvious ones are LA, like you said, and to me, Minnesota's 2016. I think that with some changes, it wouldn't be bad, but like it doesn't really improve what they currently have either. So, how much difference does a hem stripe make? Because adding a hem stripe to that would make it look a lot better, in my opinion. But I don't think it'd be better than what they're currently running. So.
Alright, and I've got one answer. It's not New Jersey, and it's not LA.
Ooh.
Because
Whoa.
I
New
would
York
be,
Rangers 2014.
oh
Full
gosh,
New York.
you. Oh.
And whoever their goalie is has to have pinstripes on the pads at all times.
Yes, all the time. Always.
Screw it, put pinstripes on the jersey too.
Remember how they brought back the 90s version of like the Jagged Edge Rangers badge for that one game as a shoulder patch and then just never used it again? They literally brought it back just to chrome it up for this game and then never used it again after that. Until the reverse retros,
yeah, I
I
was gonna
guess.
say it wasn't the retro, but yeah.
Yeah, right. But New Jersey, I'm not in love with those sleeve stripings, and red and green would be good. But, we have a classic idea of what New Jersey's supposed to look like. It's when they were most successful, and it was just a pretty basic but now well-known jersey. In LA, it's a lot better of a jersey than they have, but I do not want a gray home jersey. That is the last thing I want.
Hot take: this LA Stadium Series jersey is just New Jersey's old jerseys, but in gray.
No, the sleeve striping is way different. It's angled.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's it. That's a big change.
Duh.
So what you're saying is if I take the Penguins logo and flip it upside down, it's a new logo now, and I can use it for my own work.
You have to flip it upside down and invert it, flip it and mirror it too. You gotta do both.
You have to take the Panthers logo and you have to add a soccer ball on copyright infringement. It's not a thing anymore.
Why don't we take the jersey crest and push it somewhere else?
To the back of the jersey. Numbers and name on the front, logo on the back.
I mean, 1940s Chicago, I mean, they did.
You play for the symbol on the front, not the back. Yeah, but that's my name, so I'm just playing for myself.
I play for myself.
Goodness, but yeah, my answer is a jersey, a uniform that's been mentioned before. But
drum roll, please.
Neither of you were willing to quite take the step to go there because they're like, "Oh, what they have is better." Minnesota, 2016. I see no reason not to make a full uniform set off of this because, yeah, what they have is really darn good. But I honestly feel like it could be slightly better with this. I'd have to see it to know for sure. But I feel like a white version of this could feel really, really nice. Because you had the reverse retro happen when people were like, "Oh, we like that," that kind of look, that kind of vibe. The sleeve striping is not the same, but it's definitely got a similar feel to it from what the North Stars did have, and so it's probably where they got it in the first place. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that as a full-time set at all, because again, we've noticed we love the Wild as they look. They've got a couple little inconsistencies, and it's weird that they have their cream colors so prominent on their home, but it's not almost non-existent on the away. I don't think they'd be able to solve this with this, now that I think about it. But either way, I feel like it would clear up some color balance issues, and it would not be bad. at all. So that's my choice for if any of the Stadium Series uniforms had to be put into a full-time set.
The North Stars actually did have pretty much that same like striping on their sleeves at one point, though.
Yeah, all I was saying was the Wild's reverse retro, like, it didn't quite do it. It was similar, but not the same.
Oh, that's true. I guess the Wild's reverse retro did also have that same striping on it, so.
The hem striping was technically that, but...
Ultimate Chaos pick, though?
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, I'm thinking of a different jersey than you. Go ahead, Hunter, while I pull this up.
Cool.
Ultimate Chaos pick. Leafs take their 2018 jerseys.
Ooh.
They fix the equipment issues, and then we watch Leafs and Habs fans burn down Twitter because now they both have chest stripes and they're fighting over who had chest stripes and who does it better.
Okay. But actually, though, I feel like a blue version of that jersey could work. Again, not as a home and away. What they have now is fine, but it could work. Okay, hear me out. Blue jersey, white pants, blue socks.
As long as they don't have the white pants on the white jersey, sure, go for it. Do your thing. And if it makes the Leafs look objectively worse while the Sens look the same, I'll take it.
Would I like that? No. Could it work? Maybe. Also, North Stars. The green one, in particular, is what I'm looking at. Where it has, like, the same striping on the arms. Basically.
That's probably where they got it in the first place, you know?
Yeah, and then the white one is, like, the reverse retro, basically. So.
Look, they already had a hem stripe that they could have put on it, but they didn't. Tisk.
It's like I for some of these I went and like watched like quick little highlights from the games. If I was considering saying that a uniform or jersey was like really good, then I went and looked at a clip of it to see it in action. And like those held up, like those Wild ones, they really held up. Like I don't think anybody remembers the game at all, but like seeing them on ice, like it worked really nicely, like, really well.
Honestly, if somebody had told me literally before we did this podcast that Minnesota's played in a Stadium Series game, I would have told you you're wrong. I'm like, no, they just had a reverse retro. They've never played in an outdoor game.
No, that's next year.
In an outdoor... Yeah, I'm like, they're playing in an outdoor game. They haven't done it before. No, like they did. No.
I said, I thought it was Minnesota versus this Colorado jersey. I totally forgot Detroit and Chicago were involved at all until doing this. So.
It's because so many of these were like they're like again, like Sandra said, they were good. They were nice ideas. They were nice to try out and see, but so many of them were so forgettable. Like the Colorado one with the black helmet, like over like why and all the Chicago ones for the most part. Like
I forgot that had a black helmet, but
right?
Yeah.
I feel like they have too many per year. Like I think one Winter Classic, one Stadium Series, and maybe a Heritage Classic is enough per year. But like 2014, they had 4.
It was new.
2016 they had 2. I guess maybe I can give 2014 a pass because it was new, but 2016 they had 2. Like why?
I'm tired of Philly and Pittsburgh and Chicago and Detroit. Let me see Let me.
Who hasn't been in one by now? Columbus,
give me
Florida. All the Canadian teams have, right? Yeah.
Give me Seattle and Arizona.
Seattle hasn't technically, yeah. Arizona, Vegas, Carolina, and they're rumored to be in one soon. Columbus, Florida.
I feel like
a lot of the league has been covered by now.
In at least one game of some sort. Yeah, Tampa. A lot of them have.
And isn't Tampa coming up in 2022, right? Isn't it Tampa, Nashville?
Yeah. I guess when you're a Canadian team and you're in a Heritage Classic, like it's not as like there's only 7 teams to choose from. Like it's not as much of a big deal.
And there hasn't yet been an American team in the Heritage Classic, right? And then only 2014 and 2016.
No, the whole purpose of the Heritage
Classic. The whole purpose.
True. But then I think 2014 and 16 are the only times the Canadian team has been in the Winter Classic. So
Yeah, and of course it's going to be the big two.
Give me Anaheim. Give me somebody against Arizona in the middle of the desert, please. Just Seattle or Anaheim against Arizona, please.
What is the
Vegas,
weirdest matchup you could possibly imagine, like just team wise?
Like the
I feel
least
like
sensible.
Anaheim and Buffalo has got to be one of them.
Oh, I was gonna say Anaheim Columbus. But...
I feel
Ottawa
like
versus
almost
literally anybody but a Canadian team.
No, okay, no. Let's try to think of a weird Canadian matchup. It'd be Winnipeg for sure.
Is there a weird Canadian matchup? Because like Winnipeg against Vancouver, Edmonton, Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, or Calgary. I feel like that all makes sense, and a couple of them have happened.
Oh, I was thinking Winnipeg against an American team. Though. I feel like that.
I was gonna say,
that's
if you go
gets
for an
weird.
American team, maybe Winnipeg
Start
and
with
Florida,
Winnipeg
the
and-
two opposites. Eternal cold versus eternal warmth.
That'd be cool, honestly. Like, Winnipeg, San Jose. That makes the least sense.
Yeah, that would be a weird one.
Montreal, San Jose. Oh my god.
San Jose versus Ottawa, the battle for Erik Karlsson. Loser has to keep him.
New Jersey and
Ottawa loses that game, and the next day, the San Jose Sharks have traded Erik Karlsson to the Ottawa Senators for Mark Stone.
Dear God! Oh,
wait a minute.
Thank God Mark Stone's not on the team anymore.
For Thomas Chabot.
Sign me up for Arizona versus Vegas though for a battle for the desert.
Yes.
Oh yeah, just in the middle of the desert, they put a sheet of ice
rink.
and it melts.
No rink, just them in like running shoes and their full hockey equipment, and they're all just running around.
I would love that. That'd be so cool.
Seattle and Vegas, battle of the newbies.
Yeah, that's too easy.
Yeah.
It feels like you're trying to generate things there. It feels like you're trying.
That's true.
I feel like we always end up talking about outdoor game matchups. I feel like it just always defaults to a topic around here.
Seattle and Vancouver would be an interesting one.
Oh, that'd be great.
They're very close. They've got similar potential color schemes. Because everybody was thinking Seattle was going to use Vancouver's for a while, the blue and green.
But where would they put it? Because
on top of the Space Needle. No, sorry, the CN Tower. Forgot the Space Needle in Toronto. CN Tower in Seattle.
Very true. the Cartoon Network Tower. Yeah.
The Montreal Canadiens Tower.
Oh God. Oh God. Don't say that too loud.
No, it's not MC Tower, it's MC Hammer.
Haha.
Actually, I prefer MC Escher.
I'm walking up the stairs and I'm walking down the stairs. Going down the sideways stairs, yeah.
What?
You haven't seen that? It's from Family
What are you staring at?
What am I staring at? You.
What are you staring at? Bpoe, what you drinking?
Lemonade.
You didn't know?
Lemonade.
Fun side topic. I have an interesting webcam setup for this episode. I'm using a different computer this time, and it doesn't have a webcam built in, so I'm using a phone as a webcam. Fun fact.
Me too.
That I have very MacGyver-like attached to my monitor. I'll take a picture of it and I'll put it on Twitter or something, I guess. I don't know. Whenever this episode comes out.
This guy's got 3 phones going off.
I got 2 phones.
How's your bold
One is my regular phone and the other is a webcam.
I can't hear you now.
It's not bold enough. It's wimpy.
It's wimpy ginger ale?
Yeah, it's a ginger ale, so I got ginger ale.
I was thinking about this the other day at work because when people come in, we have a lot of people that ask if we have ginger ale, but of course we don't because I can't think of a single fast food place in Canada that carries ginger ale like full time.
I should.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, it's good enough to have, but like the closest thing we have is Sprite. So like, I'm thinking like that doesn't. I'm like that doesn't even really seem close to me. So then it got me thinking like, what is the closest equivalent to ginger ale in terms of like?
Does there need to be like sparkling lemony? Like it's not even a thing though.
No.
Does it need to be one?
I did.
Just...
Okay, where do you work, Hunter? Or where is it?
When Wendy's.
Ah, okay.
Wendy's.
Wendy's.
Baconator, I hardly know her.
I did learn the other day that if you mix Coke and Sprite like half and half, it tastes like ginger ale. So, if somebody asks, you can try it.
But that sounds disgusting.
It does. But
I walk into Wendy's. What can I get you to drink? Hi, can I give a ginger ale? No, but I can give you a Sproke.
A Sproke. I wouldn't say it like that.
I'm having a stroke.
I want 50 nuggets, not 49, not 51, 50. And I want a half and half Sprite and lemonade.
You laugh, but that's pretty much like every other customer.
I got.
Like, we have one guy that comes in and he's like, I want an apple pecan salad, no bacon. Like he says it the exact same way every time. Like we don't understand the concept of don't put bacon on the salad. Sure thing. Like
for those of you who don't know, I was referencing Giannis's Chick-fil-A order like the day after he won the NBA championship. I'll have two number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip, a number 7, 2 number 45s, and a large soda.
It's funny because you referenced Giannis's Chick-fil-A order, but my mind, when you said that, went to the Blues Brothers movie. I don't know if anyone listening has seen that. They just come into the restaurant, and one of them's like, I'll have some dry white toast. And the other one's like, I'll have 4 fried chickens and a Coke. You want chicken legs or chicken wings? 4 whole fried chickens and a Coke.
No Coke, Pepsi.
Cheeseburger.
Yeah. What a day.
Yeah. So this turned into fast food revelations.
I love fast food.
Just ordering 2 number 9s, a number 9 large. What about you?
Sometimes I'm like, yeah, fast food, like it's really good. Like I was working like up until close to our recording time, so I was like, I had to run to a Starbucks because the Wi-Fi was bad where I am, and so I had to run to a Starbucks and like finish stuff up. And I was like, oh wait, I gotta get food, and so I went up to Checkers / Rallies. These Rallies there. I'm like, it's good. It's nice. You get a little... And they had a free large fry with the rewards, so I got that today, so that was good. But then, like, it's nice, because you're like, oh, you get a quick little burger, you get a quick little chicken sandwich, you get a quick little fry, you're like, oh, it's good, nice. And then sometimes you, look in the window and you can see just, a plastic bag full of, stuff that they have yet to fry, and you're just like, oh, yeah, that's how they do this.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, this is garbage I'm eating. This is processed garbage.
I love how the Wi-Fi was bad enough to have to go to Starbucks to do something, and then you get back and it's fine for recording a podcast.
Oh no, it's weird because it's good, but it wasn't good enough to upload a 1.5 gigabyte file in less than an hour.
1.5 gigs? Jeez.
That's how we go when we design thingies sometimes, Boy.
Lots of layers.
Layer? Wait, no, we can't say that.
Yeah, that's right on the line.
Don't say that. Liquor. There we go.
No, that's just...
That's not just as bad. That is way better. That is way more fun. Yeah, this was a good one. We get to go through the mailbag, and thanks anyone for submitting their mailbag questions.
Is this two mailbag questions or 6?
We'll call it 6 to pad our stats, but let's be real, it's probably 1 at best.
Or is it 4? Because it was like Gwinnett asking 3 questions, and Burkus asked 1 more and said those 3, but Stadium Series.
Sure.
Listeners, let us know what you think. Did we answer 6 questions, 2 questions, or 4 questions? Let us know in the comments down below.
Okay, either way, I have a quick bone to pick. This wasn't in mailbag questions. This was in Discord, but was in the podcast topic ideas. I'm gonna quickly get mad at Orbital, who was in the Discord.
Fight!
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly get mad. We said, "Hey guys,
kiss, fight!"
I ain't into that, bro. Anyway, the message was,
"What, you don't like kissing?"
Not guys, no. I'm on that good track. I'm on that 3-step plan to salvation. Step 1, no kissing guys. Step 1.
What are steps 2 and 3?
Either way, the podcast topic ideas channel, Orbital sent a message in there that got me really annoyed. He said, "Hey guys, remember the NHL uniform rundown?" Which, for those of you who don't remember, was a thing where we spent months and months going through
it's
every NHL
rundown
team.
Time.
We went through every NHL team and all their uniforms and decided the best and the worst, and came up with their ideal sets for all 32. I guess there's 32 now, but there were only 31 that NHL teams.
Vegas
wouldn't have done much
didn't
with
really
Seattle,
count because they have one jersey.
We did them first. I remember that. But it says, "Hey guys, remember the NHL uniform rundown?" And Orbital suggests, "Would love to hear your guys' thoughts on other leagues' uniforms too. Give me that AHL, ECHL, WHL, QMJHL uniform rundowns. Haha." I like the ha on the end, because I am not laughing. Do you know how impossible it would be to find images just of the current uniforms for any of those leagues? Like, I don't even know where to... We were lucky because the amazing work of NHLuniforms.com and the people in person who created that, which based on the website is... I forgot his name. Andrew Greenstein.
I feel like the closest...
Forget.
Yes.
But, like... Do you know how hard that would be and how stressful it would be? Like, we would have no idea what we were doing. We would have no... Because NHLuniforms.com gave us a good look at everybody's overall history of all time. Like, we would be constantly Google searching, like, oh, is this a throwback? Or is this a fan concept? Or is this a bit... Like, we can't even find what they're currently wearing. Like, that would be terrible for all of those teams. So, just, like... No!
I feel like
Why would you say
the closest we could get was use sportslogos.net for just logos, but like, yeah,
it'd be just logos, and sometimes, like, again, there's a lot of logos on there. Sometimes even those aren't, up season to season, which is understandable. There's a lot of
I'll throw this out there, Orbital. If you're able to somehow compile a database of these uniforms historically, I think at that point we wouldn't really have much of a choice but to actually give it a good look, because that's a lot of effort for you to put in for us to not do anything with it. But yeah, it's going to be so much work and effort to try and compile any sort of database, especially like the AHL, like the Hershey Bears, for example, are old. So,
like,
and there's so many defunct teams that, like,
even just
with how
even
much
if we were to just rank every team's.
Yeah,
exactly. To just rank every team's current uniform too, like uniform current number. To rank just every team's current uniform would be impossible.
I'll say it again, Orbital. If you want to compile a database for us, then I think we'll have to take a look at it. But otherwise, I think that's just way too much for us to.
Yeah. We could go through like other leagues and be like, oh, here's the best and worst uniform in these leagues. Like that'd be easier. But like, do you think we get paid for this? Do you think we do this for a living? We don't. Okay, like, stop asking full-time work of us.
That would be great. If you would like to pay us to do this, Orbital,
if Orbital would like to send us, if Orbital would like to send us a living wage of at least $40,000 per member per year, please do so.
You know, if that happens, we just might be able to make this work.
Maybe.
So there's your decisions, Orbital. You either put together a database for us, or you give us each $40,000 US.
We can do it. It's just going to cost you. Speaking of costing you, go check out our Redbubble if you haven't in a while. I mean, if you haven't checked it out in a while, then we probably put something new on there. Who knows? You're a hockey fan, you're a football fan, you're a whatever, you're a Jersey Nerds fan. You got like, there's merch and stickers and things. Yeah, and there's cool things on there you can check out and look at. You can send concepts into our concept corner, which Noah posts every now and then whenever he feels like it. Email those to jerseynerdsmedia@gmail.com with like your name and what you did and your image and all that, or you just send it in our Discord channel for concept corner submissions. I think he checks those. Like I don't check it, but he probably checks it too. If you got a cool concept that you made of a jersey or uniform and you want people to see it, you want us to see it, like, hey, he might just review it. Woohoo! And overall, thanks for enduring the madness that is the Jersey Nerds podcast. Yeah, we had a nice break. Kind of needed the break. There was a lot going on in life. But yeah, I know you just got an hour and a half of idiots bumbling.
And nothing going on at the same time.
You just got an hour and a half of a bunch of idiots bumbling about sweaters. Congratulations, your life is
dog days of summer.
Sad. There's dogs? What? Puppy?
I like dogs.
My dog's upstairs.
I've got a penguin
cats
like,
are cool
right
too.
up there.
I have
No penguin?
I have a playpen. Those are cool.
Oh. But no animals?
Penguin. It's a penguin in a Penguins jersey.
That's where the baby goes when the baby comes.
Uh-huh, sure. Sure. And I like you don't handcuff yourself to that every now and then.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
oddly specific.
He likes he likes the feeling of the walls being close around him.
I don't know if I could fit in there. I might have to try it.
Here, wait.
That'll be our bonus episode. We'll just have a webcam feed of me trying to climb into the playpen.
Hey, y'all
Chris,
want to come to my crib?
Chris, let's
No,
role play
the
what's going to
bedroom.
happen with this podcast whenever the baby comes. So you start introing an episode, okay? Oh, sure.
What? That's what.
You're not supposed to spoil it.
It's not even a spoil. You guys actually think I'm gonna just have the baby in the room when we're recording? No, like Chelsea's gonna be here.
And welcome to that.
Yeah, exactly. The playpen's only in here for when I'm in class because I can have my webcam off and I don't have to go on campus.
Just
It'll be like-
How about you?
It'll be like that. It'll be like that.
Why is that so good? What is going on? Like, I'm terrified now.
Okay, hold on. I need to play my ringtone if it'll come across because it
Wow.
will explain a lot.
Where?
Wrong one. So this is my text.
I can't.
Why?
It's a reference to something.
Oh gosh, I'm just thinking of that episode of Parks and Recreation where there's like a baby, but then it's like, oh my gosh, what's your baby do? It's like, oh, it's right there. You're like, well, you never told us you had a baby. And Hunter's gonna be like, we're gonna be like, what's that in the back? It's like, oh, that's a kid. You're like, what?
What?
Like, yeah, that's a small human. Why do you ask?
Well, I mean, look at the way I told you guys about me getting married. Like one weekend, I was just like, "Yeah, no, I can't be on the podcast this weekend. I'm getting married." And like, I remember Steve being like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, like I'm getting married this weekend. I can't go." It's gonna be the exact same thing. Like one episode, we'll like start it up, and I'll just like lift the baby out of the crib while we're talking, and be like, "Oh yeah, like Buddy's here."
It's like how Steve Dangle announced that he had a kid last year. Right? He was just like, "You're probably expecting me at this point in the video to say that my wife's pregnant." Nope. Here's a baby.
Ta-da! She's been pregnant for months.
His name's Buddy. Must have crawled into your sack down at the orphanage.
I don't like that sentence at all.
His name is Harry Potter, and he was left on my doorstep.
Oh God.
An innocent baby left on my doorstep. I'm gonna treat him like trash.
He gets to sleep
He's gonna
under the
live
stairs.
under my staircase.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's
All right.
going to make things disappear. Like glass in front of a snake
Oh
cage.
God. And talk to snakes.
Yay.
And defeat the strongest dark wizard to ever exist.
I mean, he's pretty light-skinned, if you ask me.
He has no nose.
Got your nose!
Powerful spell that Harry casts. This will teach you. All
Nose
right, we're getting into the overly tired section of the podcast where now we're just rambling.
And there are zero drugs here. It's just good vibes, you know.
We haven't
vibes
talked
and
about
half
jerseys
awake.
for like a half an hour, have we?
I would not be shocked if we stopped it at like around an hour. We stopped talking about jerseys and then just shifted into anything else.
If anyone's still here, stop.
I'm proud of you.
No, I'm disappointed in you.
I'll
You really
say
have
that.
nothing better to listen to.
I don't know whether to be proud or disappointed in you, but you pick for
Go-
yourself
go-
whichever one you want me to be.
What are you
I'm proud of
doing?
you
Go,
for sticking it out, but I'm kind of
Okay.
concerned that you don't have anything else to be doing right now.
Go
If you would
listen
like to hear me
to-
say, if you would like to hear me say that I am proud of you, keep listening. If you would like me to if you would like to hear me say that I'm disappointed in you, skip about 5 seconds
Press
ahead.
2 on your
I am
phone
proud
now.
of you. I am disappointed in you. Okay,
it's
I
like,
think
it's
we've
like,
covered all our
like,
bases.
Go, like, what are you still doing here? Go home. It's over. Like, honestly, go listen to some music. Go listen to a true crime podcast. Go listen to a sermon. Go listen to just anything but this. You're not getting anything out of
The end
this.
of our-
Your life is not improved at all by listening to this. You are
The end
wasting
of our
your time.
episode's turning into getting meta like the end of Deadpool now. It's like, why are you still here?
Did you just?
We gotta break the
Did you
fourth
just?
wall,
Did you just say the end of Deadpool?
even though I guess
Which was a
Podcast.
direct reference and copying of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And you just called it the end of Deadpool instead.
Bro, how many people that listen to our podcast do you think actually know what Ferris Bueller's Day Off is? Or
At
who
least-
Matthew Broderick is?
At least two.
At least 2. I'm gonna tag Gwinnett, TJ, and all their buddies in the Discord, and I'll be like, "Hey, do you guys know who Matthew Broderick is?" Or Ferris Bueller?
Matthew Broderick, nice guy, good actor, voice actor, murderer,
Inspector Gadget.
all those things.
The good Inspector Gadget.
Nobody cared that I said murderer? Okay.
He hit a guy with his car one time.
And that's not good, kids. Don't do that.
You know who else
That's
did
a-
that? Danny Heatley, and look how he turned.
simple mistake. Everybody's done that at least once, right?
I love Danny Heatley. He's on the cover of my copy of NHL 2004.
Oh no. Okay, bye everybody. Thanks for
Bye, thanks for
Holy
listening.
moly.
I don't know why you're still here, but, like, get on with your life. And thanks for listening, and send us things. And, well, don't send us things, like, physically. There's no mailing address.
No,
but
send us stuff. Mailbag.
we appreciate you.
Money. Send us money.
our cash tag is.
You're probably asking a bunch of high schoolers just to like send you money.
Here's my Venmo.
Subscribe.
Your reward will be great if you send it now. Your reward will be great. I hate those people. Just like,
Oh man.
Buy some
he's
nerd
taking
coin
money.
off of us. It's like Bitcoin. It's only going to grow.
Podcoin.
It's a great investment.
Just ending a
God. What else?
podcast. How about
We're
you?
still recording. Why are we still recording? I want to go. Bpoe, stop this.
Did we outro yet?
I said bye. You should have just
Does
cut
that
it off
count?
there.
Well, either
Wait,
way,
what
I
are
did
we
a little
doing?
bit extra, remember?
You're telling people to buy?
Bye. Me. Stuff.
Wait, buy? No, don't buy Hunter.
Okay,
Bye off our Redbubble.
this is it. We are done. Goodbye.
This podcast will self-destruct in 3, 2.
God, I hope so.
The Jersey Nerds podcast is a production of Jersey Nerds Media. The Jersey Nerds are Bpoe, Hunter, Justin, Chris, and Noah. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at @the_Jersey Nerds and hit that link in our bio to find our blog, our Discord channel, our online store, and more. And be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to us. We really appreciate it. From the Jersey Nerds to you, thanks for just listening to a podcast about you.
Why are we still recording? And it's an hour and 41 minutes.
Because I need the extra time, remember, to have.
How
the
much
thing while
extra
the
do you
video's
need?
there.
We're at 41 minutes of extra material, Bpoe. What are you doing?
I think we're probably good now, but I kind of want to keep it going just to see Hunter get mad
We're
again.
past good. It's 41 minutes of us just talking about nothing. Like,
Yeah, but it's entertaining nothing, I think.
oh my god.
All right.